Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the country, in the world, and whether you're watching us on a replay. It's getting a bit of a catchphrase, isn't it? I'm going to have to think of a better one. Hello to everybody that's watching. Boyan has checked in. He is here, but he is busy. I think he said he's going to have the sound off because he's helping a customer. I have a slightly different light today. I don't think I like it very much. Yeah. I look a bit weird. Oh well, it's fine. He's going to be helping a customer, so he's going to have the sound off. Javier says hello from Mexico, and we had who else? Oh, Terry from San Carlos, and oh, Rafael is in Mallorca. Oh, very nice. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful part of Spain. Love it. Yeah, we get quite a lot of Spanish people join us. So today we are doing 5 ways, and this is a bit of a lie, 5 ways to do the to create PDFs, and we're going to have a presentation about that, and then I'll probably show you a very quick demo just to show you how to do it in a fairly easy way. I've got what's that? Some kind of thing on my This happens sometimes. I have a very white dog, and in Dallas it's springish now. And the problem is, as soon as it starts getting warm, then my tall dog starts to shed her fur. In fact, she's getting up and doing something weird. What are you doing, dog? Okay. Well, it is what it is, isn't it? So, who else? Ooh, we got people from Brasov, Romania. Very nice. And Lars from Sweden. And I am Sema from Lebanon. And Tim, of course, my local compatriot in Cedar Park in Texas. I think our winter is definitely over this time. I absolutely believe you're right. It's currently 71 degrees Fahrenheit outside, so good, nicely in the 20s for those of you that like centigrade, and we're loving it because if you live in Texas by choice, not by accident, I've got dog hairs all over me. You love the weather, and some people, a lot of Texans, North Texans, say, "Oh, I prefer the spring and the fall because it's milder." But I like the hot weather. I mean, I grew up in a country where it rains 24/7, England. So yeah, it's good. Oh, I'm talking in rainy countries, Stuttgart, where it rains a fair bit over there, but it's a beautiful place. And of course, Richard is in Worcestershire, so he knows exactly where it is. See, being a Brit, I can say Worcestershire and say it properly. And Ryan, weirdly enough, is from Worcester, South Africa. A few thousand miles between the Worcestershire there and Worcester, South Africa. Isn't that weird? What's the chances of two comments, one after another, from different thing? And Kevin says, greetings from fellow Texans in the DFW area. Kevin, I'm about to move actually in April, but I am going to be living in Frisco. I currently live just outside Frisco. So if you're in the DFW area, you probably know where that is. It's one of the biggest growing areas in there, but I'll be living in Frisco. I love Frisco. My daughter went to school here and a few other things as well. So yeah, it's great stuff. Sao Paulo in Brazil. Bom dia, my friends. Mauricio Albro. Actually, I think is it you that produced the book? If not, you may be on the webinar today without knowing it. Greetings from fellow Texan in the FWA. Yes, exactly. And Laredo, Texas. Wow, all the Texans are gathering today. We're kind of creating a little enclave, so to speak. And Mauricio says, hello, Boyan. Hello, Boyan, indeed. Right. Okay. So I want to get into the presentation because there's a lot to talk about. Before we start, there is a special offer going on at the moment. This is a little bit of a plug for my company. Just to say that if you are looking to upgrade and buy new copies and things like that, then go to that, scan that QR code there, and we've got some specials. I think it's up to 30% discount. I think it's like 20, 25, and 30 or something like that. I'm not sure. But go to that, scan that offer, and you'll get it. Ciao from Trieste in Italy. Yes. Beautiful. I absolutely love Italy. I mean, I like all European countries. I think they're very good. I think I've got another longer URL for that. No, I don't. I thought I had a URL for the RAD offer, but if not, go to the products and you'll see a banner at the top of the web page that says RAD offer, and you can get a special offer and get some money off. Why not? If you're going to renew, if you're going to buy a new license or something like that, why pay more than you need to? I'm probably going to get fired now, aren't I? Like, why are you telling them to not spend more money? Oh, and why is it saying here that my name is Martha? Martha, what did you do? That's weird. Let me just change my name here. Temporarily called myself Martha. Producer Martha, she logs into these. We share an interface here. She logs in and sets some stuff up, and it asks you who you are when you log in. And Martha puts Martha, and of course, if I don't notice, then I go in, and all of a sudden I'm Martha. Right. Okay. So let's go on to the presentation. We talked about the RAD offer, and I just want to call out once again because it's very important, and they've got special offers as well, early bird discounts, um, although they may have stopped it now. Go to the delphisummit.com, and I often put the QR code up there as well, but delphisummit.com. Based in Europe, I apologize if there's no chance you get into Europe. I appreciate that. We are a worldwide company. We deal with, as you aware in the chat, people from all over the world, Tunisia and other parts of Africa and Canada and the United States. Most of Europe, in fact, nearly all of Europe, I would say, certainly Western Europe and China even, and places like that. So we get everywhere. But if you are able to get to Europe or you're European, if you can get to the Netherlands in June, this is going to be an awesome conference. I'll be there. I'll be doing some presentations there live. And so Marco Cantu, I believe he's coming along. And so will a few other guests as well. Antonio Zapata, one of my colleagues, a very, very good speaker, authors of books and things like that. I've already got a list of people coming over. One guy I know is an MVP and tech partner. He's coming over from Australia. In fact, there's several of them coming over from Australia. They're all converging on the Delphi Summit. So if you can make it, if you can get to Amsterdam, which is where it will be in the Netherlands, Delphi Summit, I know I keep saying it. I will stop, I promise, eventually. But this is going to be a big one this year. We're trying to make it the biggest we've done. So Delphi Summit. And it's from the author of that book there, Pioneering Simplicity. It's Marco G from GDK. Marco Hose. Can't say goes. I don't know. Marco G. Sounds a bit like a gangster, but I assure you is not. From GDK. He's also got some other stuff on at the moment, and that is some AI training, which I promised I'd mention. If you're looking to do AI with Delphi, and actually once these 30 for 30 webinars are finished, we are going to do some stuff about AI in Delphi, because you can take your existing apps, bolt in some AI, and all of a sudden you're doing something magical. I've shown a few things like the hot dog app, where you could scan things and it would tell you whether it wasn't a hot dog or not. But in order to do that, it needs to understand what it's looking at. So the AI understands that it's looking at a bowl of fruit or a cat or something, and not a hot dog. But after the 30 for 30 is finished, my next series of webinars will be about putting AI into your apps in free ways, in commercial ways and paid ways, and doing something useful. But if you want some training about that, and this is not from us, this is actually from GDK, go to training.gdk.software.com, and they're doing a world tour kind of thing. So they're going to a few different countries. They're listed there. Who else have we got before we swap to the slides? Boyan says, hello, Mauricio Abro. Yes, isn't that fantastic? Oh, and JP Mugas. Greetings from Lewisburg, West Virginia. JP is the author of Taurus, like the bull, Taurus, TLS, which you can find on GitHub. If you go to the Turbo pack, and then you'll see Indie Extras. JP has created the Taurus TLS, which allows you to do SSL 1.0 the latest versions of SSL, what 3.4 or something. I've recommended a few people who have asked about SSL and getting the latest version of Indie working with the latest version of OpenSSL, and I've recommended JP's library, and all of the people I've recommended have come back and said it's working. And in fact, I am doing a webinar about creating and sending emails with Gmail's backend and Microsoft Outlook. And in order to do that, I will be using that library there that you see from JP. I think I might have a link for it. Let me just have a look. No, I don't. I will get one ready because it's Taurus, Taurus, TLS.com. Go there. It's by JP. JP, you're a star. You know that he's as crazy as a box of frogs. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that, but he's an extremely good software developer. He sent us in a thing for the 30th birthday anniversary of Delphi, and it was all blurry and stuff like that. I said, it's blurry, right? It's like, yeah, deliberately. I love the fact that developers are they walk on the wild side a bit, and it's great, isn't it? Who have we got? Faroe Islands. Wow, that's pretty out there, isn't it? Do you know Svenbjörn? That is probably one of the most unusual places I've had anybody come from. I've had one person that came from. No, I can't remember. It was some tiny island in the South Pacific. And they were genuine. I checked, and they were genuinely from there. But Faroe Islands is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, but extremely windy, if I remember correctly. I've not been there myself, but I know it's a fantastically scenic place. What else we got? Lars says thumbs up. Check. Yep, great. And hello, everyone. Marcello, Porto Alegre. In Brazil. Lovely, beautiful. Oh, and JP says yes, you can do 3.4.1. Thanks, JP. Yeah, Taurus TLS. I am going to do. I'm going to feature it when I do the emailing thing as well. So, okay, right. So let us go to today's subject and topic. Feel free to say hi. I say this every time, but when the slides are running, I can't always easily see the chat. I've got 2 screens set up, and when I move to my new offices in Frisco, I'm going to have 3 screens, so I'll probably be able to have the chat in a window where it won't interfere with the presentation. But it is what it is. I'm going to get this down to this size, and hopefully this will work. Every time I curse Microsoft's name because they just do something very, very stupid with the speaker view, which is it never remembers how you have it set up. And I don't know why, why do you not remember it? Pitcairn Island. No, it wasn't Pitcairn. It was, I'm not going to remember. I was just so amazed that someone was there. We have users in probably every country in the world. It's quite amazing. People always say, "Oh, Delphi. Oh, I didn't know that was still around." Somebody actually said that, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" There are 3.5 million users plus around the world and growing. The community edition gathers a lot of people in, but we also have lots of people who choose to do new projects with Delphi, and it really bugs me when people say, "Oh," and the problem is we're very good at when you write a Delphi app, it's super rock solid, and you can upgrade Windows, it doesn't care, your app will still work. And nearly all the people that use Rad Studio love the fact that there's no dependencies. You create an app and it just works. You don't need a whole bunch of stuff installed. It will just work. You can't do that with .NET. You can't do that with Python. Someone upgrades a version of Python on the machine, it changes some path, and boom, the Python app goes sideways. It's a great language, Python. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that our strengths are in one area and their strengths are in a different area, and that's the way it is. We've got people from Germany. Beatrice, I hope that isn't anything rude. I'm sure it isn't. But I tend not to put weird names. And hello from Ukraine as well. Hello there. Sip Sibian. I'm not sure what your name is, but anyway, thank you. Right, let's share my screen and do the presentation. So I'm going to do this one. Boom. I'm going to turn my camera off, but you should still hear me. A little bit of flash there whilst I make the stupid PowerPoint thing work. I could do this. There's a browser thing that I could use as well. But hello, Stephen from Ireland. Hello, my friend. I feel an affinity with the Irish. My great grandfather was Irish. Long story. Anyway, so let's start today's webinar for real. This is part of the 30 for 30 webinars. Why are we doing 30 webinars? Well, A, because I'm an idiot. And I thought, let's do 30. How bad can it be? Short answer, a lot of work. 2 a week is a supreme amount of effort. But why are we doing 30? Because this year, Rad Studio, or actually specifically the Delphi language, it's the 30th anniversary of when it was released. It was released on the 14th of February, 30 years ago. And who am I? If you don't know who I am, and not everybody does, because we get a lot of organic traffic. My name is Ian Barker, and I'm the Embarcadero Developer Advocate. What does that mean? Well, I explain the benefits of our products, and I talk about what you can and can't do, but I also am a sort of chief cheerleader for the Delphi language. I suppose that's the best way of looking at it. What you see is, Delphi and Rad Studio, and that's my job to explain that to you. However, I'm also here, and Khalid says hello from Algeria. Hello, happy birthday. Yes, thanks, Khalid. I'm also here to hear, your comments and things like that. If you've got any things you want to talk about to do with Delphi, or development in general, or C++ Builder, which I also represent, then you can email me at ian.barker@embarcadero.com. And please email me. I will answer my emails. I know it seems weird, but we are not a big corporation like a monolithic corporation where if you email someone, you never get a reply. You will get a reply from me, often within an hour, and at the very least, same day or next day, depending on, I've got to sleep eventually. But you will get a reply. I reply to all the emails I get. I'm not there for technical support. That's not my job. We've got some really good people that do technical support, and they're way better than me at it. But I am there, if you want to talk about Delphi, good or bad. If you're unhappy about something, if you think, you've something's horrible and you need to have it fixed, and you can't believe how terrible it is, and or something like that, email me and talk to me. Don't just shout into the void. Don't go on a Facebook and go, "Oh, I'm so unhappy," because nobody will hear you. If you email me, you will be talking to someone who can talk to other people. I deal with everybody from board level downwards, and I know, may not know the answer to something, but I will probably know someone that does. So email me. It's quite literally my job to be there for you. If you want to read about what I do, go to about.me/Ian Barker. Right, what we're going to talk about today? Well, today we are going to talk about 5 ways to create your apps, create PDFs in your apps. Hello from Italy. Hello, Rosso. Good to hear from you. And when I say 5 ways, it's a bit of a lie, because I'm going to tell you a few more than 5 ways. But let's go to have a look at what we're talking about. Well, PDFs, if you have been living under a rock, never used the internet, and don't know what on earth I'm talking about, then how are you listening to me? But if you've never ever understood what PDF is, I don't know how you can be a developer, but there you go. It is an open file format, and in fact, a lot of people don't realize that it's open. It means that it's not really owned by anybody specifically. It's been standardized into an international standards organization, ISO standard, and the specific one is ISO 32000-2, which is a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? But really, it does a lot more than just represent documents. But really, that's what everybody thinks of it as, a document format. And you must have had at some point a PDF from someone. It was originally created years ago by Adobe as it was, and it was really encapsulating PostScript, which is a language that goes on printers, and really just describes things like text files and um, images, and the kind of thing. It's a description language that goes into the PDF that really is a bit like a program in itself. It's a set of instructions that says put all these instructions together and out will come a document. Really, it's so popular now since Adobe kind of released their grip on it a little bit that it's the de facto standard for document interchange exchange. It was originally it came from a thing called the Camelot project, which was created by Adobe co-founder John Warnock in 1991. He's passed away now, but it was made open source and then established as a standard in 2008. So it's been around quite a long time. The latest edition is ISO 32000 -2, as I said, and that was published in December 2020. So it's still very much a living document as we speak. Hello to I can't say your name, but hello from Ghana, and hello Helmo. Helmo, I know you. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're keeping safe and healthy. So PDFs can be more than a document. In fact, a lot of people don't realize this. Most people think of them as some kind of like printout that's instead of being going to a printer, that they think they're printing to a PDF document, but it's actually a lot more than that. And in fact, Germany is a very good example of how a PDF document is not just a PDF document, a printout. In Germany, the official PDF document for document exchange is PDF/A, because there's a few different variations of PDFs, and it's actually A3. They have a thing over there, and I'm going to mangle this name. I'm not even sure you should pronounce it as well, but I'm going to try anyway. Apologize to my Germans watching, but Zugfrd. I don't know. It's ZUGFERD. It's basically an electronic interchange contract or agreement. And what it does is it includes an embedded XML file inside the PDF, specifically for business to government interactions. If you've ever done business with a German company, you'll know that they're very big on transparency, lots and lots of rules about things like putting your bank account details on a piece of paper, which to an American is insane. In fact, I had an argument with someone the other day about where I'm moving to in Frisco, and they wanted me to fax email my bank details to them, including all of my bank statements, and they couldn't understand why I said this was a really stupid thing to do. But hey, I fixed it in the end. But if you want to know about this German interchange format, go to Zugfrd or ZUGFERD.org, and you can read more about it. It's a requirement over there. So if you're dealing with Germans, you may come across that. There is actually a Delphi library for this standard. It is free and open source. You can go github.com/Landrick software and then look for the Zugfrd for Delphi thing. The only thing I would say is in the to-do section, it says to-do tests and writing support for the Zugfrd invoices are still missing. I'm not quite sure what it means like that, because that's kind of like the whole point of the library. So I didn't have time to look through this, but I think that all I'm saying is there's probably a caveat to this. And my German friend says, you are right. Good. And Torsten Schubert, who's also presumably German, says Zugfrd, or whatever we want to call it, is also for business to business since January 2025 in Germany. Thanks for that, Torsten. So yeah, it's kind of like a required form of Adobe Acrobat document or PDF document with a little bit extra on it. If you're not German, or you're not dealing with German businesses, then it probably is irrelevant to you. But it's become important, and the way these things work. And hello, Paweł, dzień dobry from Poland. But the way these things work is if it's a standard in somewhere like Germany, sooner or later it might sneak out into the rest of the world because that's what happens with these things. Um, Good news for creating PDFs. Well, there's actually a lot of options, and I mean a lot. We're actually spoiled for choice when it comes to creating PDFs for Delphi and C++ Builder, which is great. And actually, I want to call out a specific site that's got a really great roundup of this. If we go to gabrielmoraru.com, that's his name, and then he's got an option that says PDF libraries for Delphi. Go there anyway, because Gabriel Moraru has got a bunch of books called Delphi in all its glory. He's got some other books as well. In fact, if you go to his website and then click on the books, it will tell you. But it's a really great resource for PDF libraries. It explains what he's done, is listed them all in there, and then compared them to say what they can and can't do, their capabilities and stuff like that. And I have to say, I actually cribbed some of the information in this webinar from Gabriel's work. So thank you for that. Nigel says, hello, hi Ian, hi all from Southern England. Yay! As a Southerner myself, of course, Nigel, I'm on your side there. Born in London, specifically Woolwich, for those that need to know. Ian Holmes says, I've had PDF in the Delphi app for around 20 years. Yep, me too. In fact, I'm going to show one later. I'm surprised how many people say they can't do it, because as you're going to see, there's a lot of different ways of doing it, and many of them are free. So let's look at the different options that we've got. First of all, you can do it the really hard way if you want to. And that is if you go to our blog, and I apologize for the long URL there, but if you just go to blogs.embarcadero.com and search for how to create a PDF file, it will take you to this post. What this post does is actually shows you how to do it completely in code the hard way. Now, I would say don't do this unless you really, really want to, unless you feel like you'd like absolute control over it and do it in code. It is possible to do. And this blog post is by Softicom, which is another one of our tech partners, a very, very good tech partner, consulting partner. Serge Pilko is the boss of that company, is a good friend of mine, as many tech partners are. A really smart guy, knows his stuff, real Delphi experts. If you're dealing with Softicom, you're dealing with someone who really knows what they're talking about. But this blog post was created by them and showing you how to create PDFs the hard way. I just wouldn't do this. It's a crazy thing to do. But there you go. You can if you want to. But having said that, there are some options out there to have ready-made things done for you already. The number one, I suppose, library or lib out there is called PDFIM, and it's a DLL that is released into the public domain. And this library here, in fact, there's a couple of libraries that leverage this. This is a library from a variation of this from Anders Hasled, and a very, very smart developer. You've probably come across him before in other apps and add-ons and things. And PDF lib, completely open source, completely free. It does require the PDFIM DLL. I don't know how I'm going to pronounce that word, but you get the message. But if you click on the link on the GitHub page there, you can see just underneath the thing that says requirements, just click on that and it'll take you to where you can download that. So that's option one. It's pretty powerful, and there are some samples in there and examples, and the example shows you how to do all those things. Option number two is actually part of a really great library called Mormot. Now, on the 14th of March, as part of these webinars, and we're not that far away from it now, it's a couple of weeks away, we're going to have a webinar all about Mormot, because it's an extremely powerful system. Arnaud Boucher is the lead developer on that. And Arno is an MVP now. He's a very big Free Pascal guy, and I've got a lot of respect for Arno and for the Free Pascal people in general. We're stronger together. We're not enemies. I want to emphasize that. If you do not use our products, and I really think that we offer some real benefits, I would rather you use any form of Object Pascal than anything else, because I think if you use any other programming languages, you're doing it the hard way. And you know, Free Pascal is a very creditable version of Pascal. I believe our products offer some more value on top of that, but generally, people that choose Free Pascal are in a different arena, shall we say, to the people that are using Delphi. We've got a free version of Delphi as well, but Arno is a very good developer who works in that kind of sphere. Mormont works with Delphi, and it's a great package, which we'll talk more about. One part of that is a library, as you can see there, called SynPDF. And if you go and download the Mormont package, and it's big, many megabytes long, there is a file called SynPDF, and it shows you how to create PDFs. It's all self-included. And what's important is, first of all, it's free, and it's open source, and it's VCL and FMX. So it's cross-platform as well, has no external requirements that I'm aware of. So great. And plus, Mormont's awesome anyway. So maybe even look and read what Mormont does, or watch my webinar on the 14th and find out why you should probably be using it. It's great. PDF option 3. Did I miss option 2? Oh, no. Option 1 was do it by hand, wasn't it? Option 2 was Mormont. Option 3 is Power PDF. You can get Power PDF by going to Get It. So if you go to Tools and then Get It Package Manager, go down to the options I've chosen there. So make sure it says all, make sure it says sort by name, make sure it says all in the categories, and then in the top type in Power PDF, and I'll explain why in a moment, and it will narrow it down, and you can get It. It's free and it's open source, and it works with Delphi and C++ Builder, and you can create PDFs with it. It's you can design them in the IDE, and it supports your code there, but it is, because it's VCL, it's Windows only. So no Android, iOS, or Mac, or anything, Linux, or anything like that. It's all Windows only. Option 4 out of the 5 is a PDFium. This is a version again of the PDFium library that we mentioned earlier on. It is a commercial product, so in other words, you have to pay for it. It's from Winsoft.SDK, who have hundreds and hundreds of libraries. Raphael says, any PDF library able to digitally sign a PDF with a digital certificate? Yes, PDFium can, I believe, and so do some of the other options as well. I don't know about the one that relies on the DLL version. I would need to check that, but I know that there you can sign the PDFs, and actually you can sign the PDFs externally as well with an external signature. You can use the VeriSign tools and that. So anyway, PDF from Winsoft.SDK. It's the commercial version, so you pay for it. What you pay varies on where you are. It can read, write, and more importantly, edit files. So you can take an existing PDF, so someone sends you a PDF, and as long as it's not encrypted, you can then open that and edit the contents. Now that's useful if, for example, you need to add a signature, like a facsimile signature, or you need to fill in some details on the PDF file or something like that. If you look at that table that I showed you all earlier on, you'll see that not all of them can edit it. Many can write, and many can read them, but not all of them are cross-platform like this is, and write and read and edit. And Beatrice Schmittel from Germany. Sorry about your name, mangling it there. You're going to have to anglicize it to Bernard or something. He says, or he or she says, Winsoft has very powerful libraries to include in Delphi. Yes, I'm a big fan of Winsoft. I should point out they send me everything they've got basically for free because of my role, but I don't use them commercially. But I get to open them in my ID and test them and talk about them. And that's why people send me stuff like that. How much is it? Well, it's not cheap, but it's not expensive. If you're thinking about the amount of time you would spend developing something, it's $120 for the commercial version, but it does everything you could want. So if you're looking for a commercial version, that's the one. Option 4B, because there is more than one option 4, and that is from the same people, winsoft.sk, and that is a PDF library specifically for iOS. And what that does is that leverages the PDF Kit framework, which is a built-in thing for iOS. It's commercial again, and you can only write to iOS with this because that's what it's designed to do. And it's FMX because, of course, you can't write a Delphi app that goes to iOS without using FMX. And before you ask, yes, there is an option 4C as well, which is the same library or similar library for Android. It works in exactly the same way. They've got the same properties and methods, except instead of going to iOS, it goes to Android. It's commercial again, so you have to pay for it. And there is a FMX library that you get all the source for it and all the rest of it. They've got some examples there, so I think there's a trial version as well. You can download a trial version, test, and see if it works. At the end of the day, you need to decide whether it's going to be economical for you. But both that one and the iOS one are $80 US to purchase. So, trade it off. How many hours of work would it cost you to create that code for yourself, debug it, test it, and spend days and days going, oh my God, why doesn't it work? And what's this problem? Why not get someone else to do it? I know that's easy for me to say because I live in the United States, and some people with economies that are not quite as strong financially might say, well, $80 is unreachable for me. I accept that. I understand that. That's why I'm showing you free options as well. And while we're on the subject, we may as well just round it off with they've got a version for Mac OS as well. So they've got Android, iOS, and Mac OS. So that's why I said for A, B, C, and D. I didn't want to say that there were different options because really they're all coming from winsoft.sk. Really interesting. I've not tried them myself, but I could do, I suppose. I've got, like I say, the ability to have those libraries and install them. But some people swear by them and say they're great. So it's worth talking about that. Option 5. And remember, we're talking about 5 ways of creating PDFs here. And we've got to option 5 so far. And that is image en. And I actually believe they pronounce it imagine, but I'm not sure. I think that's what it's trying to do, is do a play on words. Imagine. Again, this is a commercial library, so I've shown you some free options, but they also do a commercial version, and it's VCL only. And if it's VCL, then it means you can only use it for Windows. And you can find out about it by going to imagien.com and then search on their help for timagenview.pdf viewer. The reason is they don't actually have a direct link that I can put in, but go to their library itself. The Imagien libraries, image handling, and does all sorts of amazing things. They've got layering images and stuff like that. Ramirez Aquino says hello from Brazil. Hello there. Bom dia. I hope you're doing well. And so that's option 5. But of course, what I should really say is that I completely lied. Absolutely lied, because actually there are more than 5 options. There are actually 24 options to create PDFs. And these vary from the ones I've shown you. I've shown you 5 or 6 different options. But there are actually at least 24 different options for creating PDFs. They vary on whether they're free and open source. For example, the PDFEM Hausleiten is completely free. The PDF suite FireMonkey is not. There's OpenPDF, FreeJPDF, which uses JavaScript and links to it that way, I believe. But there's a whole bunch of stuff. You're spoilt for choice. And as I mentioned at the very, very start, you can create it manually in code. And while we're at it, 24 options instead of 5. Well, actually, there's 25 options. So not 5 ways, I mean 25 ways of creating PDFs. You cannot possibly argue that I'm giving you choice there. And that is, if you're using RAD Studio 12 or higher, or you have got a recent version of RAD Studio, I think it's 10.4.2 upwards. If you install the Skier for Delphi library, or you've got version 12 of RAD Studio, Delphi or C++ Builder, then yeah, okay, I'm about to get to that as well. You've got Skier built in to RAD Studio with version 12, and all you need to do is say install enable Skier in your application, and then all of a sudden you can create a PDF very, very simply. And this will work on Windows and every single target you've got. It's pretty powerful. Now, a couple of people saying some things in the questions. Trust me, I'm getting to those things in a moment. So let's just talk about something else as well. I'm going to close that for a second. And I'm just going to say this question here, which is, what about option 26, fast reports? Well, actually, let's talk about options 27 and 28 then, because there's also a product called List and Label, which is a reporting option. There is also a quick report. All of those can output to PDF as well. So I didn't actually mention reporting tools that can create PDFs, because you kind of expect a reporting tool to do it. But it's a very good point, Oku 150, that yes, you can also create PDFs from reports options. In quick reports, it's very, very simple. And in fact, whilst I'm sharing my screen, I'm going to bring something up. So let me just see. I have an app here. It's actually a commercial app that I worked on. But why would I want to do PDFs? Well, instead of going to a printout, what I'm going to do is output the contents of the report to the screen like this. Now, what this is this is a quick report that's been generated to a PDF. All I need to do is drop on a PDF filter, and it will do it. But why are PDFs such a good thing that you can have in your options? And as Ramirez says, more, you can call print and save as PDF as well. Correct. And also there is the option as well to use the Microsoft print to PDF printer. So if I go on here and select this, you'll see it says Microsoft print to PDF. This is a free driver you can download. And when you say print to PDF, what will happen is when I go to print this, instead of going to one of my printers, and I've got a few printers attached here, it will actually go and ask me for a file name, and then I can print to it directly. So there is absolutely no excuse for you not to produce PDFs in your apps. But this is going direct to a PDF. Why is this good for your apps? Well, for example, if you select this, and this is a Microsoft Edge, but it works the same in Chrome. You can now draw on the image. You can zoom up, and all of this is dealt with in the browser for you manually. There's no extra code, and all of a sudden your app can do some cool things. So I can say things like, "Oh, I'll highlight that figure, and I'll highlight that figure." These are the benefits that you get with a PDF. The other thing you can do, of course, is then save that or just email it from there. So if you're going to output any kind of printed matter in your application, I recommend at minimum that you support PDF. And that's very, very true if you're talking about a mobile app. because with the mobile app, if you do it to a PDF, you can then open it in Android or iOS, and it'll open a default viewer. On Android, it'll ask you. I think on mine, it will. I've got a Samsung phone, so it likes to send it to Samsung Notes. But outputting to a hard copy dead tree printer nowadays is just not the done thing. PDF is the way forward. So I do nothing in my app for this. I just print out this quick reports report, and then all of this functionality, the zoom and all the rest of it, all of the document view is all included with Windows doing it for me. I don't have to do anything, and I can actually implement things like this. Yeah, oh, yeah. You want to wipe out the change you made? Yeah, you can do that. Very, very useful. Okay, so that's Print to PDF. And so, as I said, this is just a normal Delphi app, and it's just using quick reports. Off you go. Now, the other option is, what about Skier for Delphi, which was one of the other choices that I said. I'm not going to show the other code options, but if I just run the Skier for Delphi app, which is on my other screen, and come over here, this is the example for Skier for Delphi. So hopefully you've seen what you can do with Skier for Delphi. You can do some pretty amazing things like animations and all the rest of it, and load weird animations, all built in into Rad Studio 12. You can do it today, and it will work today. Okay, there's no extra stuff that you need to do. If you've got a recent version of Delphi, you can go to skierfordelphi.org and install it for free as well. It's an open source library, but you can do some pretty crazy things. Paint box. Oh, let me see what we've got. Draw a sweeping gradient. Just Skier for Delphi is just mind-blowingly good. Signature component and all sorts of other lovely things. What else have we got? Yeah, people saying things like, "Oh, how can I do right to left text?" There you go. If you live in an Arabic country or a country that uses right to left text, then this is a Skier for Delphi label, and it supports all of that. But the main reason that I've gone to it today is to go and show you that it's also got the capability in Skier for Delphi to create a PDF drawing an SVG. So if I go into here, what has happened is, and I've changed what the default image is, it is gone and it has created this this image in Skier for Delphi and then output it as a PDF. It does that with just a couple of lines of code. Very, very simple. All built in, all for free, and you've not had to pay a single cent for this. It's just ready to go out of the box. So, options, you got a lot of them. You can use commercial libraries, you can use quick reports libraries. I think I've got quick reports installed on here. Probably, oops. Yeah, there you go. So quick reports, there's a PDF option, I think is one of the defaults actually in there. But it's great stuff. It's not can I do PDFs in Rad Studio? The answer is yes, you can. It's just narrow it down to the options that you think are going to be okay. Let me see if I can find the exact example code, because that's a bit of a problem. Documents, here we go. Down here. So that is the entire code to create a PDF. So all it's doing is it's loading in an SVG, and it's saying, "Oh, I'm going to save it first somewhere, and then I'm going to output that document and save the stream, and then I'm just going to show it, and that's it." The reason that it saves that document is so that it can open it in the web browser. But very, very simple stuff, not at all difficult, and very powerful. Number 12, PDFs tools might refer to. Oh yes, Nostis PDF. Actually, yeah, I've missed some off, and the reason was we went to Nostis, and their website wasn't responding at the time, and so we checked, and Nostis are one of these people that use Digital River for their commercial apps. They take the money via Digital River. And I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Digital River basically went bankrupt. And they announced a bankruptcy and reorganization. In the process of doing that, they took a lot of component vendors with them because all of a sudden some people could not get the money in. Digital River, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but I understand that they hadn't paid some people for many months. I know at least one component developer who said to me he hadn't been paid since September or something, and that's a big deal. If you're relying on that income, it's a big deal. And I know that Nostis were one of these people. We looked on the purchase thing, and it was still saying Digital River. So the only reason I didn't mention them is that I didn't want to put additional pressure on them or recommend something that appears to be having issues at the moment. Nostis, very, very good company, and they actually, you used to be able to use Nostis stuff with quick reports as well, and I think fast reports also has an interface to it as well. So yes, Ken, I haven't forgotten them. And Nostis, if somebody, a rep from Nostis is watching this, or someone knows them personally, and I will reach out to them because I've got contact details for them, just let me know you're okay, because I worry about all our tech partners, and I'd be happy to promote them and tell people what's going on. Okay, so let me stop sharing and go back to my camera. So what I wanted to do was just go through there and show you not just that there are 5 options, because there are 5 options, but actually show you that there are actually 25 or more options. There is no excuse for not being output at PDF. Now, the big problem with PDFs are that there are several versions of PDF/A and B and all the rest of it. And some people say, oh, does it create a PDF/A with this XML portion on it? Whatever option you choose, you've got to choose one and decide what is the set of options for you. If you're going to use a commercial library, then you need to decide, is that something that I want to invest in? Do I want to invest $80 to $120 and create PDFs? If you really want to do it the hard way, if you saw the blog post, I will have the links up later on a blog post with all the links in there. But if you really want to do it the hard way, you can do it manually. But to be honest, I'm a big fan of taking somebody else's hard work where they've output it to a lot of customers, they've debugged the problems, all the glitches, all the little corner cases that didn't work have been ironed out, and you just use the code. And that's one of the benefits of having a community of developers, is that there's enough of us. Like the law of big numbers means that enough people use it, most of the little problems will be ironed out. And that's why you want to use a pre-existing library if you can, just because it's better to invest some money in it than invest a lot of time in it. Because I'm not advocating for not developing and not writing your own stuff. That's great, but sometimes it's quicker to get someone else to do it. And as long as you've got the source code, if they go bust or they go out of business or they get stiffed by someone like Digital River, at least you've got access to the source code. Most of these component vendors include the source code. It means as well you can always upgrade it to a later version of Rad Studio if you need to. Okay, I think that covered everything. I didn't really want to do a lot of demos, because once you've created one PDF, you've created them all. Using a reporting tool is fine. Mormot on the 14th of March, we will show you all the things that Mormot can do. It is a big library of goodness, because it's an object relational database, and it's a whole philosophy is going behind that. So I really recommend it. Oh, I'm being told, now I can't comment on this because I don't know. PDF Creator Pilot is outdated. It supports neither modern PDF version nor Unicode. Thanks for that, Torsten. I just took the available options that are out there. I don't use all of them. I've used some of them, as I mentioned. If I've used them, then I'll say so. But if you're saying that PDF Creator Pilot is outdated, that's fine. I don't think that was one of my original 5 options, was it? Let me just check through. I think I didn't include that. No, it wasn't. It wasn't one of the options. It was just on the list of many other things that you can use to PDF. I found when I was researching this, the 5 options I chose, I personally checked, and they worked, and they were modern, and they did what they said they should do. The other 20 plus, I'd be here for a week, testing them all. So your mileage may vary. You're saying your PDF Creator Pilot is outdated. Thanks for letting me know. I get that, but the same could be true of some others, and some of them have some dependencies on external libraries and things like that, which I'm not very cool about as well. But few support accessibility features like tags, logical reading order, etc. It's fast reports. Imagen, PDFM do not. Nostis, along with WPF, apparently one of the few. Great, but show me Nostis's site functional, and I'm happy. I really, I'm not saying there's anything wrong. I'm just saying right now I couldn't really comfortably recommend it just because there was a problem with the site, and I don't want you all to go there and take their site down by accident, or order something and Digital River take Nostis's money. The money, if you pay something for Nostis, it should go to them, not to Digital River. It should be in Nostis's pockets, and so it's not any way at all a judgment on the quality of their stuff, because I have always found Nostis to be fantastically good quality, and as you point out here, Robert, not only good quality but complete implementation. But what I don't want is that people hear that I am watching this webinar, go to that site, they decide to order it or pay Nostis some money, and Nostis never see the money, and you are then stuck trying to get a refund from Digital River. That doesn't help anybody, does it? Doesn't help Nostis like that. Quick PDF. Yeah, I mean, look, so what's this? Quick PDF, Sunset by Foxit. Okay, last version, produce on PDF. Yeah, Robert, I get what you're saying, but actually you can still open those PDFs in a PDF viewer. It's when I see, and actually, whilst by the way, it's not a criticism. I'm just saying, yeah, I get it. I hear what you're saying. I chose 5 options that I knew were good. I didn't go into all the details because there's always going to, your mileage may vary. But you know what? Boyan just said something interesting, which is Digital River also stole money from me. Disclaimer, I'm not concurring with the word steal because I don't want a lawsuit on my hands. What Boyan means to say is that they have money that he believes he is owed and have not yet given it to him. Is that right, Boyan? You're in LA, dude. Litigation in the US is one of these things. Yeah, Digital River. I mean, it's a problem, and it's a shame, really, because a lot of our smaller component vendors and more prominent people like Boyan, because Boyan, mytofsoftware.com, Boyan is very active, but he's a small businessman like anybody else. If Digital River suddenly go belly up and they're your processing payment company, i.e., when someone pays by credit card, Digital River are the people. Boyan says yes, yeah, exactly. But if Digital River are the people that are your what do they call them? Like broker, you type in the customer types in the credit card details. Digital River deal with all of that, or used to, and then they would securely take the credit card details, take the money from the credit card, and then they pass it on to people like Boyan and whoever, and they charge a fee for it, which is a reasonable transaction. Boyan doesn't have to worry about credit cards or anything like that. It's all dealt with Digital River. when those things are working, the payment processor is working properly, you get an invoice saying, the money will be coming into your account in 21 days or whatever. And we'll talk about that in a second because he's posting a lot of notes about it. It was a great arrangement, except for, as Boyne says, and this is Boyne's experience, they collected payments from my customers and have kept them due to bankruptcy. I'm talking on behalf of Embarcadero, so I won't say what our position is officially. Our official position is, we have no official position on that. Digital River, it's business is business. But on a personal level, not speaking on behalf of on behalf of Embarcadero, I would hate that. I would be righteously annoyed if someone took my money and then I didn't see it again in bankruptcy. I'm not going to make any comments on the morals of that, but it's not okay, is it? And as Boyne says, I'll probably never see the money. And the customers can probably get it back, because I saw that there were lots of credit card companies were reversing transactions, which I think was what precipitated Digital River's bankruptcy anyway. Robert says, right, just sharing our genuine trying to addict. Yeah, thanks, Robert. Look, Robert, I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying, and actually accessibility is one of the things we haven't addressed in apps as well, because we do have a developer, a C++ developer, and he's completely blind, and not just partially sighted. I have problems with my own eyes. One of these developers is completely blind, and he uses screen readers and things like that to develop code blind. And I think that is an incredible achievement, and it makes me extremely emotional to think how hard I would find that, how much of a struggle it would be. My worst nightmare, because I have bad eyesight anyway, and I have floaters, as I mentioned before. Why I use dark mode is because of floaters. But how someone who is blind can code using accessibility features, which we are trying to work with them to improve on. And actually, I just think that, I don't want to get too emotional, but it's heroic. It's heroic. Must be a struggle. Anyway, fortunately, Digital River kicked me out years ago because I didn't have enough income. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, lucky for you, eh? So if you ever build it up, that's good. And Gregor says, "Me too. I'm happy with that." Oh dear, I'm how awful. I'm sorry. See, we've descended into a horrible situation about that. It's very nice to talk about PDF or bytes formats because only a few people care about it. Yeah, the thing about PDF is it people view it as some kind of document, almost like you've scanned an image, took a photo of it. And and Dominic says the pity club. But it's not. It's way more than that. You can imagine it's like a kind of a program. A PDF document is like a script to generate an image on your screen in a certain way. So in the PDF, it contains a whole load of PostScript stuff. And in fact, if you go to the blog post that I mentioned earlier on, which I think I did not. No, I didn't have a link for it. But if you go to blogs.embarcadero.com, you'll see the code for actually writing into a PDF file to create the PDF image itself. And you can do all sorts of things. It's like draw a circle here, draw a triangle, rotate it 30 degrees. It's a whole language. It's a programming language. It's a scripting language. So a PDF document is not like a bitmap image of a document. It's not printed like a bitmap raster image. It can contain raster images, but it is actually a document full of instructions on how to reproduce what you see on the developer screen on your screen, and it copes with scaling and sorts of things. So yeah, it's very interesting. I would recommend using a ready-made tool and pick it carefully. As we've said, there's a lot of different options there. Dominic says, talking about the digital river thing, it's the pity club. Yeah, well, I mean, what can you say? It's a pretty sad set of affairs. And I have had emails from other component vendors who've said I'm out thousands that I can't afford because of Digital River going bankrupt. Isn't that horrible? Some of these component vendors are very small businesses who do not have the spare financial capacity to cope with someone like a payment processor going bust. Imagine if Amazon took all your money for an order and then just shut up shop. You'd be furious. And if you were selling through Amazon and you had sold 10,000, phone cases or something, and you were expecting a big paycheck from them, and Amazon just went, "Sorry, we've gone bust. We can't give you any money. We're keeping it all, but sorry about that. We owe our creditors. We owe for our rent and our lighting or something." Uh, you would feel righteously annoyed, and this is what has happened in this scenario for our component vendors, and this is an example of Boyan being the decent guy that he is. He delivered the software to anyone that bought it, even though he can't get paid, because he said the fact he can't get paid is not the fault of the customers. This is why what I like about Boyan. MyToughSoftware.com. He's a hero. He's a great guy anyway. And by the way, I did say, boy, by the way, we're going to do a stream on a Saturday. I'll come and help it with you, and we'll do a special one on your stuff, because I have up on my shelf behind me here. I've got a load of Internet of Things stuff. I've still got that e-ink device, dude. If you get a driver for it, let me know, because right now it's an S3 paper thing. I can't do anything with it as their drivers are useless. Better late than never. Hi, Ian from Townsville, Australia. Pink hand waving. Yes, me too. Hi, Malcolm. Malcolm, we're doing a webinar soon. The 12.3 webinar I'm actually going to be doing in Australia with Malcolm Groves from Code Partners as well. So expect to see me Australian time at some point. Okay, well, look, hope I covered it fairly well. Like I say, the slides will be available on a blog post. The links will be there and everything. So just subscribe to our blog. If you are watching on YouTube or LinkedIn, click on the like and subscribe button. I'm not too worried about the likes, but the subscribe button is important. Click on subscribe to Embarcadero Tech or whatever the YouTube channel is, and then there's a little bell icon. Click on that and select all. We won't know who you are. I won't get any pay rise, but what will happen is that when I do a special webinar like one with Boyan that we haven't publicized through our emails or whatever, you'll get a thing that says Embarcadero Tech has gone live, and you won't miss anything. And then also, if you're not awake, let's say I do it at 2 a.m. your time and you're asleep, at least you will know, because it will say Embarcadero Tech was live, and then you can watch the replay. So everything you see now, you can see on a replay. We always post the replays in the ID itself. So down on the welcome page on the right-hand side, there's a thing that says Learn, and this webinar will appear there automatically. I click a button and make it happen. I have the power. And also on our channel, it's in the playlist and things like that. So I always make sure you won't miss it. What is the link to your blog? It's actually the company blog, and the easiest way is if I'll put a link up here. Let me see what I've got. Hold on. Go to, oh, I don't have one set up. How stupid. Okay, well, go to there, embarcadero.com, and there's a link that says blog. That's where the blog is. It's blogs.embarcadero.com. You can ignore the section here. In fact, I'm gonna put it in here. So it's blogs.embarcadero. I think I can add this now. Blogs.embarcadero.com. And we'll put the blog posts on. Sometimes that takes me a while. We're going to start putting them on learndelphi.org as well, which is one of our other sites, so that we're up to date. What else we've got? Got some other questions. Subscribe. Yeah, click on like and subscribe. Like I say, we can't spam you. You're quite safe. You can subscribe to our site. I'd always choose to unsubscribe if you hate me. But if you subscribe, nothing will happen to you. All that will happen is you'll get a ping from YouTube at the right time to say, "Hey, Ian's gone live." I won't even know. I won't know who you are. I won't know where you come from. I mean, if you post in the chat and say hi, then I don't know. And Francis says it's a mad Tuesday. Just had lunch. Actually, I haven't had lunch. I'm going to do it now. Okay. All right. Well, a little bit over time. Just thank you, all of you, for joining me. The next webinar we've got, let me just pull up the webinar site. That's the webinar site. The next webinar is on Friday, and it is oh god. Okay, so how to send email via Gmail and Google Workspace, formerly G Suite. I don't know why I do this to myself. Because now I have to actually make that happen, but I do know how to make it happen. But JP, we're going to be talking about Taurus on Friday. So this Friday, if you've ever wanted to send email from your apps and you want to do it using SSL, the latest version of SSL, we're going to talk all about Indy, the latest version of SSL, Taurus TLS, Tiny TLS, which is another one as well. Join us on Friday, same time, noon my time. And Dominic says, yes, bring it on. That's how I imagine you do it. Dominic Mahan. I'm not sure how to pronounce Mahan. Yeah, Mahan. Okay, Dominic. Great. Yeah. So Friday's going to be interesting. Lots of stuff happening. Okay, I am going to leave you for now, but I will see you again on Friday at the same time. And as I've said before, if you want to talk to me about Rad Studio, then email me, and good or bad. If you're unhappy about something, let me know. And if you've got a question, I'm not going to give you technical support. There's a support team that do that. I'll pass you on to them. But if you do want to tell me something that's good, maybe you don't want us to get rid of a feature. Say, oh, Ian, I really like, I don't know, yellow font on something, or let me know, and I'll pass it on to the product team so that we don't remove something that's cool and you like, because we get, oh, nobody uses that, and then 50,000 people tell me that they do. So I do try and reply to every single one. And also, if you go to Amsterdam in June to the Delphi Summit, hang out with me. I'll be there. I look like this. Everywhere I go when I'm working, I'm wearing these clothes. I'm quite a big guy. You can't miss me. I'm 6'2", and you'll see me from a distance because I'm fat as well. But I'll be there doing. I think I'm doing at least one keynote, and let's just hang out and talk about Delphi. And I mean that. I'm no different from you. I'm a developer. I just happen to be on YouTube. Helio says, thanks. Good, relaxing webinar. Yes, looking forward to it. And let's see what this is. Roland Bengston says, I have an application that needs to keep an access token active as Outlook Azure alive, so user doesn't need to log in again. Any chance this is handling a blog or video? Is it an OAuth token or is it something else? Because Azure is slightly different. I know we can do it in AWS because Richard Hadlow's got a demo showing that, but I'm not sure about Azure. Roland, email me and I'll try and find out and see what we're doing. And Brian says, thank you. Looking forward to making a fun event together. Yes, and I'll be there. If I say I'm going to be there, Brian, I'm always there. I never let people down. So just FYI. And Betriebsmittel, whatever, I don't know what that means in German. I hope it doesn't mean fat bald guy on the YouTube. Thank you and have a good time. Yeah, I'm sure it's something nice. I'll decode it later and find out. But anyway, that's enough for me. Thanks, everybody. I will see you on Friday, where we're going to do a load of stuff with Taurus TLS and sending Gmail and email and stuff like that until I'm banned as a spammer, I'm sure. But until then,